We are still a few years away from the next big Avengers team-up movies. Phase 6 hasn't even begun yet, but there's still plenty of speculation to be done. Top of the list, which Avengers could possibly return for the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars? By my count, there's at least 15. And so, Avengers, assemble.
Just as long as we're all in agreement.
While still very much a comic relief character, Scott Lang has proven himself as a valuable player over the years. And let's not forget that he's currently the only Avenger to have survived an encounter with a version of Kang the Conqueror. It seems inevitable that he'll show up in the Kang Dynasty, and who does not want to see Giant Man stomping around in Secret Wars? Steve Rogers is dead, or MIA at least. Sam Wilson has officially taken on the mantle, and his proper debut as Cap is incoming next year in Brave New World.
I'm sorry, wait, who are you?
Captain America.
Will we see Sam lead the Avengers like his predecessor when they go into battle against Kang? It could happen. Though I feel like he'd be more comfortable in a support capacity. Either way, he's got to be a shoo-in for the next big team-up. There is no way on Earth that we are not seeing Peter Parker again. After all, a fourth solo Spidey joint is currently in development with Sony and Marvel, and he's just too much of a valuable player, both in the movies and outside of them, not to include. Currently, nobody knows that Peter is Spider-Man, but that's surely gotta change by the time that we get to Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Last time we saw Bruce Banner, he was helping his cousin, She-Hulk. Oh, and now he's got a son? Bruce hasn't really had a personal storyline for a while now, so hopefully he'll get something meaty to do in the next Avengers movies. And if they are going to be going up against Kang and potentially Doctor Doom in Secret Wars, they are going to want a Hulk to do some smashing. Chris Hemsworth has made, let's just say, noises about not wanting to continue as Thor, but he loves the character, so you'd expect he would want the God of Thunder to go out in a blaze of glory. And where better to do that in a huge Avengers crossover? There's also the possibility of a reunion between Thor and Loki. I don't think Marvel can resist there. That is a fan-pleasing opportunity. And as it's Secret Wars, might we even see the Thor Corps? Last we saw Rocket, he was leading a brand new lineup of the Guardians of the Galaxy, so it's safe to say that he's going to have some clout around the universe going forward. And let's not forget the fact that he served alongside the Avengers during the events of Endgame. There is no way he's not playing a big role in the next team-up. James Rhodes has been a solid background player in the MCU since the very beginning, give or take a recasting. He's currently working alongside the President of the United States, and he's got his own solo joint coming up. It's called Armor Wars. So yeah, if he does not turn out to be a Skrull imposter, I think it's safe to bet that he'll be supporting the Avengers when the Kang Dynasty rolls around. The strongest Avenger, Thor, will be back on our screens later this year in the Marvels. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some hints about Kang in that movie. And while Carol was present for Endgame, she didn't get a huge amount to do until the very end, so the next crossover could very well be her time to shine. Might she even lead the Avengers into battle? Just saying. Ah, poor Clint. He just wants to hang out with his family and his new adopted daughter, partner, younger pal with the same codename, but he keeps getting dragged back in, and it's a near certainty that he'll be dragged into whatever shenanigans the Avengers are involved in with the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. He too could also be in line for the heroic sacrifice role. So, yeah, let's just get in front of this one. Black Widow is dead, but death is no barrier to return in the MCU. It's highly likely that Secret Wars will involve universes colliding, which could mean we see a variant of Natasha. Or there might even be some timey-wimey nonsense that brings back the original. Either way, there is definitely some unfinished business with Yelena that needs finishing. We have not seen the rebuilt white version of Vision. White version of Vision. Try saying that 10 times fast. Anyway, haven't seen him since WandaVision, but he is set to return in Vision Quest, which may see him regain his original form. As one of the most powerful Avengers, he would be a heck of an asset against Kang and whatever Secret Wars has to throw at Earth's mightiest heroes. Elizabeth Olsen has sounded kind of ambivalent about returning to the MCU, but it definitely feels like there is unfinished business with Wanda. Not everybody loved her villainous turn in Multiverse of Madness, and even though she seemed to die there, she's a Nexus being, so she could easily return. And as Kang is also a Nexus being, a fight between him and the Scarlet Witch would be pretty epic. Age of Ultron's Pietro. Nobody's favorite version of Quicksilver, but with multiverses colliding, could we see him return? Maybe even alongside Evan Peters? Aaron Taylor Johnson will shortly be starring as Kraven the Hunter, but that does not 100% rule out a return as Pietro. Steve Rogers has been missing in time since the events of Endgame, and Chris Evans seems content to retire the role, but Secret Wars is supposedly going to be bringing back dead characters, heroes from different continuities. Basically, everybody Marvel can pay to show up, and an appearance by the original Cap, either young or even aged up, would inspire audience cheers to rival the moment that he picked up Thor's hammer. Oh, if I could relive that moment again just one time. There's no getting around it. Iron Man casts a long shadow over the MCU. His big death in Endgame felt right, so we're sure that RDJ and the crew wouldn't want to cheapen that, but there are many ways that he could make a return. Maybe as a holographic AI or a multiverse variant, whatever they think of. The only thing more exciting to fans than a Steve Rogers cameo would be a Tony Stark cameo. Marvel has to at least be considering it. That's 15 Avengers who I think could make a return, but are there any more obscure or unlikely Marvel supporting players that you would like to see return for Secret Wars? Chris Evans as Johnny Storm meeting Chris Evans as Steve Rogers could be pretty fun. Or maybe Ben Affleck's Daredevil meeting Charlie Cox's Daredevil.